right, David. Join us? What is this, a commune? So anyway, you know what, aside from everything, like the last 10 seconds that you spoke, according to James Gallagher, what's important here after all is something that he mentioned in the article Right to Die Man, Tony Nicholson, dead after refusing food. This man wanted to undergo physician-assisted suicide, and he was denied by the courts of Britain. And one of the last things that he said was, what I find impossible to live with is this knowledge that I have no way out when this gets too much to bear. You know, something that's obviously very important to think about. You know, this person is going to suffer for, oh, I don't know. They said that, you know, it's sometimes people get a year extra. So what, you're just gonna suffer for an extra year? I don't know. They're talking about false hope here. I mean, these people are terminally ill. They are not going to get better. They might get a little bit longer to live, but ultimately, it's just not going to end well for anyone. And you know what, they mentioned that cost is something that we're talking about a lot. In the beginning of this debate, we had mentioned that we were talking about cost. We weren't ever undermining life. Did we ever say that we weren't thinking that life was important? No. We were talking about how cost is what we are focusing on today. After all, Brendan Nevijon and Deborah K. Mayer, Death is Not an Option, How You Die Is, concerns about the financial impact of end-of-life care for the individual and his or her family, differences between the patient and the family wishes, and fears of abandonment from the healthcare provider can overshadow the quality of life desire that the individual desires. And Kevin Drum also mentioned that, you know what, doses of powerful chemotherapy drugs are basically designed to kill everything in its path. So either way, regardless of whether they take the medication or not, something is going to be killing them. Also, what was their alternative? I never heard them offer anything. The current alternative to physician-assisted suicide is palliative care, and it is supposed to help, but however, Josh Sandberg from The Last Choice said that the palliative care industry is 4 times bigger than it was in 2000, but oversight is lacking. More than half of the nation's facilities have been cited for medical and safety violations, while the average facility has not been fully inspected in over 3 years. And they also talked about how, you know, these people who want to do physician-assisted suicide have, you know, some sort of depression. But however, Joseph Conrad Jr., dying in Oregon, mentioned that patients must be competent adults with no diagnosed mental disorders that would impair judgment. 2 doctors have to certify that the patients have less than 6 months to live. Doctors are required to meet privately with the patients to ensure that they are not being forced. 2 oral requests for aiding dying drugs must be made 15 days apart along with a written request. Only the attending physician can prescribe the medication, and the drugs must be self-administered. So how is this going to get out of hand and many more people are going to die? I don't see that. And you know what? Ultimately here we're talking about, like they mentioned, dignity as well. So Susan Buchanan from Death with Dignity mentioned that the concept of dignity is playing a central role in both the political and legal struggles over physician-assisted suicide. And with that, I leave it.
We done? We done? Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.